All right, if you've been following along with my Bronica SQ saga, my adventure from beginning to now, then you know that I've been struggling a little bit with it for whatever reason. You know, it was a used camera, and so my first problem was trying to diagnose some weird light leaks that were happening. We got that all figured out. It was a faulty back, and the place that I bought it from, Precision Camera, took care of that for me right away. They just gave me a replacement, and it fixed the light leak problem. Okay, but another problem that I was having, something I was struggling with a little bit, even though the pictures were turning out pretty good most of the time, I was struggling a little with focus. Okay, and I was using this prism finder here. All right, now that really wasn't working out for me. The cool thing is some of you gave me a few tips on how to fix my focus issues, and I'm going to show you what the results are of me trying different things, but one of the things that I wanted to do was get rid of that prism finder. It just, I don't know, you'd think that looking through a viewfinder would make things a little easier as far as focus goes, but not so. So what I did was I hunted around and finally found myself a waist level finder. And this is something that I used to use with my Mamiya RZ67 Pro 2. So I slipped that baby on, opened it up, and it was like I was back to using my RZ, which I had a lot of success with. Now, the waist level finder is really nothing more than like a little tube. It's like a square tube that opens up to the ground glass underneath there at the top of the camera. But the cool thing is it's got this little magnifier that pops up when you press this button here, and usually the way that you use it is you look down, and everything is just really close up and magnified when you're looking at that ground glass. Now I picked this waist level finder up for a really reasonable price over at KEH. Those guys always treat me right, and they fix me up with this beautiful, I'd say almost near mint condition waist level finder, and it fit right in. And I decided to do some test shots with a couple of people who were, kind enough to pose for me. And we did some really quick little portraits. Now, one of the other tips that I used to help me with these just slightly off focusing issues, somebody said to me, they said, Ed, I learned not to shoot wide open with one of these things. I said, okay, well, I'm going to stop down to maybe f4 or f5.6 and see what I get, because I really like that shallow depth of field. I like that beautiful bokeh. Everybody likes the bokeh. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at that test roll that I shot. I shot some Portra 160. It was a pretty bright, sunny day, but I was able to keep it to f5.6 or f4 for just about all the pictures. Everything was handheld, so if I did move just a little bit back and forth, just a few millimeters, it probably wouldn't have made any difference. You're going to see for yourself what the results look like, and spoiler alert, things got better. Okay, I'm first going to start off by saying that this test roll was processed by Holland Photo Imaging here in Austin. Okay, it was processed and scanned, and that's what I'm working with right here is the scans. Okay, now, again, I'm going to want to reference a previous video, the one with Danielle in it, okay, where you can see clearly that I'm having issues with focusing, and I've been having these issues ever since I got this Bronica SQ. The Bronica SQ came with a prism finder. Okay, it wasn't my choice to use a prism finder. I'd rather not, but that's what it came with, is a used camera, and so I said, yeah, this will be fine. Lots of focusing issues, and this isn't a matter of me just pixel peeping some unrealistic crop, some zoom in that no one would ever actually look at the picture that way, and I noticed like a couple of millimeters of back focusing or something. This was really serious problems with me not being able to focus correctly with this camera most of the time. In any event, I think we have this problem solved. This was my test roll where I'm going to go ahead and for the first time, try this waist level finder out. Like I said, I had a lot of success with the one I was using with my RZ67. So here we are. Just let me set this up by telling you that I used the Light Meter app on my phone to get the camera settings for this. Now I was shooting, again, with the Portra 160. My Bronica's fastest shutter speed is 1/500th of a second.
And it was giving me a reading under these conditions of f5.6. So we'll take a look at this first image, and for whatever reason, it's a little soft. Now I don't know where we are actually in focus on this. I don't think maybe anywhere. It's a little soft. What was I, nervous? I don't know. But it looks cool. Again, this is film. It's gonna look cool. Okay, second thing, I guess I was trying. So here we have this definitely in focus, and it's not a great picture. I wouldn't recommend having. I don't know what I was doing here. I was just again just trying to see if I could use the waist level finder and have any luck with it. And then we're having a conversation, and I just wanted to see if this would work even if we had some movement. Like I said, somebody had given me the tip that, hey Ed, maybe don't shoot wide open with that lens, with the medium format, because it's going to have an extremely shallow depth of field. There's almost no margin for error. You could move back or forth just a millimeter or two, or the model might just move just a slight bit back or forth toward the camera or away from it, and you're going to have an issue with focus. And so closing it down to f4 or f5.6, maybe I've given myself a little more room. And so yeah, I mean, you can tell, like right back here, out of focus, coming in closer, we're in focus. And so everything looks pretty good. Now, I know it looks a little crispy here because of the way the scans look, but it's a good picture nevertheless. This is pretty nice. This almost looks like, I don't know, like a picture I'd be happy with. I think I had settled into it after whatever 3 or 4 exposures, and I said, yeah, okay, now I think I know how to use this thing. And so here we are. We're getting some good focus, and you can see the bokeh back here. I think that looks pretty good. Let me just note that this one and this one, and that's pretty nice too. And this one. These are, I'm going to go backwards, back to the first one of this set. These are, you can see there's a lot of light here. Now, we're sort of under the shade, and there's a lot of light coming in. That's not a reflector that's being brought in. That's when you're using the very light colored concrete slab that you're standing on, and that's bouncing light back into the face. So shout out to all the found reflectors out there. Okay, so we'll go over here again. Take a good look. The focus from here to here. Nice. And same here. Now for this shot, I asked the model to close her eyes and open them up with a little bit of surprise. And so we did that. Now, at the time that I shot this, this is interesting to me. At the time that I shot this, I said, whoa, I think, it was a nice idea, but I think it kind of, maybe it went overboard and we overdid that expression of surprise. But actually, like a lot of things with posing in front of a camera, something that might feel a little weird or stupid or over the top sort of evens out in a photograph, and it looks pretty cool. And this was the last one of the set. And I say one, this is actually 2 pictures, multiple exposure. I don't exactly know how this happened. I didn't do it on purpose. A malfunction of some sort, I would guess. I don't know. Or the model was operating in more than one dimension at a time, and I didn't notice it. Maybe it's a glitch in the matrix. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Neat picture, though. Same day, I dropped by my daughter's house and asked her if I could run off the rest of the roll of this film with her, and so we just went out into the street and we did this. Now, for this set of shots, I wanted to try just one stop down from wide open. So we go with f4 here. Now under these conditions, I got a reading of 1/500th of a second for that 160 film, but I decided to overexpose by a stop or so. So I dropped the shutter to 1/250th of a second. Okay, so we did that. I told her that I wanted to get something a little long and medium, and then maybe something more close up. So That was next. And then we have this. And here you can see that's pretty, maybe a little too crispy on the scan here. I don't know, but that's in focus. That's some good focus. And I was moving fairly quickly here. There was movement going on. She wasn't perfectly still, and I wasn't using a tripod for any of these photos. And I had kind of started off with the idea that I was definitely going to use a tripod for the first roll of film that I shot using the waist level finder, just to have some kind of a control, some base to start off with, to say, okay, well, if this comes out sharp, then let me try it without a tripod and see how those come out. This is no tripod, so this tells me if I was using a tripod, I wouldn't have any issues. And then just we're laughing, having fun. So overall, taking a look at these now, I don't know what happened here, but happy accident, I guess. Double exposure. Don't know why that happened. I'm going to look into it and see, if this has ever happened to anyone else using this camera. But overall, I think I'll have less of a problem with focus from here on out.
All right, as you can see, I'm very happy with the results. Now I can just shoot confidently. I'm going to use the waist level finder. I mean, just something that, just suits me. And I'm not going to use this horrible prism finder anymore. I mean, there was really no point to using it anyway. This wasn't even a... This doesn't even have like a light meter built into it or anything. It's just a prism finder, just a mirror that it just darkens the whole view of the scene, and it's just hard to focus with. This just gives me a nice magnified view of the screen, and it's just a lot easier to focus with. It's a lot brighter. I just have to say I'm happy. I feel like I'm all set after months of working with this thing. I think I've just got the configuration and the technique that I want to use from here on out, and now it's just a matter of just popping that film in, shooting those pictures, having fun. Oh man, what more can you ask? All right, guys, if you want to see where this all started, I think I'm gonna just create a playlist about the Bronica and all my adventures with it up to date, up to now, and you can kind of, if you want to see how this all started and what I went through to get to this point, then you can do that. But otherwise, hey, I want to thank you for hanging out with me again today and sharing this with me. If you have any comments, go ahead and leave them in the comments section below. Go ahead and click that like button if you did like this video, and if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe. That's about it for today, guys. I'll see you next time.